Now, before I talk about the Q2 Monochrome, just a couple of things I want to mention. My good friend Robin, you may know him as the Real Sir Robin on YouTube, has a few workshops coming up in London, Berlin, and I think he has a couple planned for Australia later on in the year. I'll put a link to his website down below in the description so you can check out the workshop dates for yourself. Robin is an amazing street photographer and a very good friend too. We spent a few days in Taiwan together and he taught me basically how to use a flash on my Leica Q. I had the silver Q at the time and I got these amazing photos. So check out his website for upcoming workshop dates. Now I've just purchased the Leica SF-C1 flash transmitter and the SF-60 flash. Now I got these two units to test basically because I can't find any information online on this transmitter and this flash. There's a few setup guides, but nobody actually talks about them. So I'll be doing a review on this setup basically in a couple of weeks. If there's anything you want me to test or is anything you want me to include in that review, let me know down in the comment section. Like I said, I couldn't find any information online of somebody actually using this system. So it's going to be quite interesting to test this. Now the last thing before I talk about the Q2 Monochrome is this is my X-Pan. I still haven't really got to use this X-Pan. I'm working on the video at the moment on what I think is the closest you're going to get to a digital X-Pan on the market at the moment. I'm quite surprised how good this camera is. So I'm going to put together a video on the camera that I'm testing and tell you the reasons why I think it's the closest you're going to get to a digital X-Pan at the moment. I'm quite sure there probably will be a digital X-Pan coming out sometime in the future because either Fuji will make it or Hasselblad will make it. So that video will be coming out very soon. But here's a couple of sample shots from that camera shot in X-Pan mode. Okay, let's talk about the Q2 Monochrome because basically that's why you've clicked on this video. This is my Q2 Monochrome. I've had this a few weeks. I've not used it as much as I would like because I'm very busy working on a project at the moment. If you don't want to watch the whole video to find out what I think of this camera, I absolutely love this camera. The images out of this camera are absolutely gorgeous. It's an amazing camera to use, but I will go over some points of the camera and I'll talk about the images I get from the camera. And there's also some sample photos for you to download in the description. There's a DropBox folder link down there. You can head over there and download some sample photos in RAW from this camera so you can test them for yourself in your own editing software. So the Q2 is a matte black camera with no logo. There's no lettering on this camera at all. There is a little bit of lettering on the hot shoe, which is engraved into the hot shoe, but basically from the front to top, there's no lettering on it at all. This is my M10P, which is exactly the same finish as the Q2. And they're both dust and fingerprint magnets. I can never keep these cameras clean. You've only got to just slightly touch them with your fingers and it leaves fingerprints, smudge prints. Don't care about that. But just to let you know that this does show a lot of fingerprints and a lot of dust. Now, one of the first things I noticed about this camera was the lever on the front. This feels very different to the original Q. The original Q lever always felt plasticky to me. It didn't have a nice soft touch to it. This is really nice. It's a nice lever. It feels very much like the same lever that's on the M10P. On the back of the Q2 and the Q2 Monochrome, the button layout has changed slightly. You've got these 3 buttons, which is very similar to the 3 buttons on the M10P. It's actually quite nice to go between the two cameras, apart from the fact the M10P weighs a lot more than the Q2 Monochrome. A feature that has come over from the SL, SL2 and the SL2S to the Q2 and the Q2 Monochrome is this new battery system. So you flick the switch, like that, and the battery won't fall out. You tap it, then it comes out, and then you pop in another battery basically. Like that, won't fall out. I really wish more camera manufacturers would do this. Instead of opening the door, pulling the battery out, putting a new battery in and then closing the door. This is a really nice, simple, effective system. See? And this battery lasts an incredible long time. I've used this camera for about 3 weeks now, on and off, and this is still the original battery that I charged to put in the camera. I haven't needed to use my second battery. This is the quick menu system on the Q2 Monochrom, which is the same as the Q2. Everything is touch operated from the screen, so you control everything with your finger basically. And it's a quick menu, but to be truthful, you can operate everything on the camera from these quick menus. And if you want to go into video mode, yes, the Q2 Monochrom does shoot 4K black and white video, which is actually quite nice. You just tap on the screen and it goes straight to video mode. Now you're going to see 3 photos shot in JPEG. Now the first photo was shot with the Leica Q2 Monochrom. The second photo was shot with the M10P in standard color profile. And the third photo was shot with the M10P in the black and white profile. So you can compare the 3 photos and see which one you prefer. Now, all 3 of these JPEGs will be in the DropBox folder, and the DropBox folder link will be down below in the description. So now I'm going to share some photos with you taken with the Q2 Monochrom. Now, these photos were taken over the last couple of weeks because the weather's not been the greatest here in Auckland. It's been raining quite a lot. And yes, the Q2 Monochrom did get quite wet. I wouldn't suggest taking the camera out in heavy rain, but it seemed to handle it okay. Now, some of the photos in the slideshow will be available for you to download in the DropBox folder. A link to that DropBox folder is down below in the description. I am really happy with the images I'm getting from this camera. I can't believe how good they look straight out the camera with no editing. And they are incredibly easy to edit. You don't have to do a lot, obviously, because they're a black and white sensor. Now, there is something quite special about limiting yourself to only shooting in black and white. You do look at subjects a little bit different, which is nice. I have to say, it does make me think about my photos a little bit more. I am very happy with this camera. Very pleased that I bought the monochrome now. I would say the Q2 Monochrom is the closest you're going to get to a black and white film look from any digital camera on the market at the moment, which is exactly what I wanted. And I'm really looking forward to using this camera later on this year in Taiwan on a project I'm working on. So in about a month's time, I will be doing a long-term review on the Q2 Monochrom. I'll talk about the features, what I like, what I don't like, and whether I think it's worth buying the Q2 Monochrom over the standard Q2. Now don't forget, next week I'll have a video on the Leica SF-C1 flash transmitter and the SF-60 flash. Like I said, I couldn't find any reviews online for these 2 items, so I'm really looking forward to actually testing the flash and the transmitter and seeing if it's going to work for me. Also coming next week is my digital X-Pan video, or the closest you'll get to a digital X-Pan on the market at the moment. So if you want to see that video, hit the subscribe button down below. So that's it for this video. I really hope you guys have enjoyed it, and as always, thank you so much for watching.